I'd like to introduce, let's introduce, I don't know if you have ever met Anders. You met, maybe you heard him at Boto conference from Sweden. And please, let's introduce each other's. Anders, please.
Yes. Sorry,
Talk about your small talk.
I just started the recording. If it's okay with everyone.
Hold on just for 1 second. Can I ask my class to just come gather around here for a moment so you can hear the introductions? This is a unusually small class, and they're going to just hear your introductions and say hello, and then they may come in and out, and they'll be working on their own projects. So let's see if we can see. This is my class. Okay. So I want them to hear your introduction. So just grab a seat. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm going to turn one light off. All right. Okay.
Okay. Should I start?
Yes, please.
Yeah. My name is Anders from Sweden. I'm ICT advisor in pedagogy. I don't really know my title, but I'm doing stuff with computers and programming and everything. And I'm a Scratcher since 2008, I think, maybe 2009. I've been to Scratch conferences, 5, I think, and I met Susan and I met the other guys as well. In Sweden, we had snow yesterday, but it started to rain a lot, and now it's melting. Everything is melting away. So, and right now it's dark in Sweden, so it's kind of boring weather. Okay, that's me. To the next one.
Okay. Alan.
Hi, I'm
Please
Alan.
introduce yourself.
I'm Alan. I'm located in New Jersey here in the States. At this point, I'm pretty much retired, but I develop a lot of software to interface with Scratch and other things. So I have several programs out there that allow you to connect things like Arduino and microbits to Scratch and control it with Scratch. That's basically it.
Okay, Veronica.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Hello. I am Veronica from Mexico. Viva Mexico! But now I'm in Montreal, Canada, because here my grandson and my son lives. And I'm a kindergarten teacher since 1967. Long time ago. Then I work a lot with little children and with young people like you. I love to work. One thing I love, the creativity. If you love to make something and be creative, and everybody could be creative, then I love to make workshops about with young people like you, and I love to dance, and I love to sing, and I love to make parties. Do you love parties, boys and girls? Yeah or not? And you like parties? Yeah! Well, and I love computers, and I love to use computers with the kids. And Scratch is a good language to make.
Maybe Simon could introduce yourself.
It's raining here, so I'm just going somewhere.
Simon, can you say something?
Simon.
Hello.
Simon in Tanzania. Simon, you're there?
Yes, I am, but it was raining here. So
let me introduce myself while Simon's not here. I'm Eloisa. I'm from Brazil. I live in São Paulo. I'm a teacher, and I'm very fan of your teacher, a great teacher from my heart. Hello, guys. You are lucky.
Now, I was speaking to Simon before, so he was there. Simon, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
It seems he can't hear us.
Okay, he and I were before. Shall we have a quick introduction on our end?
Yes.
Okay.
Go on, Susan.
So, you all look very far away in the video, as you can see. So if you could just speak really loudly, just your first name and your age, maybe. Start, Alexander. Just shout. Here, I'll get you on the screen. Okay. There's Alexander.
Alex, I'm a freshman.
Loud, loud, loud.
Hi, my name is Alex. I'm a freshman.
My name is Peter, and I'm 14.
My name is Nick, and I'm 14 as well.
Wave your hand so people can see you. Okay, good.
I'm Louis. I'm a sophomore.
Wave your hand so people know who you are. Okay.
I'm Angelica. I'm a freshman. Hi, I'm Shane. I'm a freshman. I'm Rachel, and I'm a freshman. I'm Sabia, and I'm a freshman. I'm Colin, and I'm a sophomore.
So people here are generally like 14 to 17 to 18, and we have my sort of teaching assistant. Say hello. Introduce yourself.
Dave.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So we've been this is called. Well, you're kind of asleep.
Susan, where are you located?
Okay, we are in New York City. We're in New York City Public School. We are in Manhattan, on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And pretty much everyone here, it's a fairly small school, 550 students in 4 grades. And this is a college prep high school. Most of these people, pretty much everyone in this school is preparing to go to university. So yeah, so we're gonna tell you about what we're doing. This class is called Animation 1. And it's an elective class in the arts department, but it's kind of a secret way of doing coding too. So it's about imagination, animation, and coding. Simon, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Simon.
Hello. Hello. I can hear you.
This is so strange. Simon and I were just talking before, and he's wearing a fabulous outfit today with an African textile. So I'm disappointed.
Hello? Hello?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Uh-oh, did the whole call freeze? What happened?
Oh, wait, no.
Hey, Louisa, can you hear us? Well, I can put us on mute too.
Fine.
Here, if I say that now. Eloisa? Oh, we can't hear. Yeah. Why?
Okay.
Okay, there.
Susan, let's go on normally. And when Sam is back, he can explain himself. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go on with your class and things you have to present. Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay. I'm going to switch to a screen share now. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And Simon and I are going to share this presentation with everyone. So let me switch to a screen share here. Let's do
on the left, on the green flag.
Yes, we have it. It's coming up. We're all ready for you. Okay. Let me just do this. Share. Okay, let's see now. Almost have it here. Screen share. Okay, I've only done this a million times. Okay, can you see our screen now? Okay. View, present. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
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 Okay, great. So now some of my students are going to stay around and some of them are going to go do their project.
Susan,
yes.
Excuse me, Sandy, has just joined us.
Oh, great.
I think you have already met her in Scratch conference in 2016.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know each other? Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Should I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you may all stay around here and watch us or do your work, whichever you prefer. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. And come back as you want. Or stay or come up. Okay. So Simon and I were both spending some time last summer in Bordeaux at the Scratch conference with Andrea from Europe, and we learned more about Turtle Stitch. And we had the idea to engage in this shared project. So why Turtle Stitch? It's a block-based programming language. It helps make abstract ideas concrete. We're able to touch our code and we get involved with making and creating. Here's some of our contact information.
Yeah.
Which we will add in. Okay, we'll continue that. Okay. So we basically just wanted to share with you a lot of pictures. And I will not read every slide, but we will go back and we will continue to add more information. It has to do with coding and then actually stitching the code. This is a picture of an audio wave that was coded and interpreted on the digital embroidery machine. Let's see if this link works. I don't know how this video will work for all of you, but let's try it. Can you see the video?
Yes.
People, I'm going to turn off your microphones because if time some sounds, we lost Susan's, okay?
And can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, great. So that's just an example. And an inspiration is from Mitch Resnick's from MIT, his new book, Lifelong Kindergarten, which I think you're all probably familiar with. And he talks about projects, peers, passion, and play. Turtle Stitch is just a great way to make this happen. So what's happening is the lower right-hand corner is my class, a different class than this class, but another class during the day. And the upper corner and the other picture, these are some students in Tanzania, in Simon's group. And we have some people in Kenya with Grace and Max. And they're all learning to code. And they're learning to code for the purpose of creating patterns and expressing themselves. And the inspiration for these patterns come from our own cultural backgrounds of the textiles that we live with every day. And when we get Simon back in, you'll see what he's wearing today is very typical of an African textile. Very often people look at art or textiles and they say, wouldn't that make a wonderful coding problem? So what we've done is we propose that it's people can learn to code through making things.
Can you hear me when I speak?
So here are the sources that we use for this, and here are the links so you can explore. This all comes from Scratch originally, but Snap, developed by Jans Monig, comes from Scratch. And Turtle Stitch, we have to add the rest of the links in here. We'll add in some more links here. Michael is the developer for Turtle Stitch. Andrea Mayer is the creator of Turtle Stitch. And BJC on the right is a curriculum that comes out of the University of California, Berkeley, that uses Snap to teach computer programming. So we're trying to put all this together. I'll just sit on this slide a minute so that you can all read it. I won't read the slide, but really what happens is that learning computational concepts and practices and working together as teams and making projects projects and having active collaboration leads us to the bottom right-hand corner, which is our project website, exploring coding, stitching, culture together. And what we hope to do is entice some of you to join us. You can see we don't have anyone from Mexico and we don't have anyone from Brazil, and we would very, very much like to include you in this project. Our goal is to code, to stitch, and to share embroidered designs and patterns from around the world. We think that by learning to code and expressing ourselves digitally and being inspired by our own textiles from each culture, we can really have an opportunity to talk with each other and share and get to know each other. So many people don't have digital embroidery machines, and we want to share the idea that there's a very old-fashioned idea called stitching on paper, paper embroidery. And here are just a few links, and here are some pictures of people who were sitting around a table talking, very similar to the way people would make quilts or would knit or share any kind of handcraft, just sitting around a table, stitching. But the difference here is that they're stitching their code. Some on paper, some on the machine. And that's the end of our official presentation. I'm going to switch back here to our video. And let's see if we can get Simon in, because what we really wanted, Simon, are you there now?
Hello?
Let me,
Hello?
what we really wanted to do is share our project in order to facilitate a conversation between us all.
Hello?
Eloisa, you can hear?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can we call Simon back maybe? Or how can we get Simon in here?
He's on. He's on. His microphone is on.
Can you hear him?
Oh.
I don't know what happens to Simon.
No, I can't hear him either. Oh, Simon, yay!
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. That was so difficult. We couldn't.
I don't know that. Yeah, the mic shows that I'm talking and my voice is being recognized, but I think you are not hearing me very well.
No, now you're good. Now you're good. I'm going to stop screen sharing here. Let's see. Okay. Simon, did you see the slides from our presentation?
Yes, and it's
So-
really good.
Can you add everything now that you wanted to add and show what you're wearing, please?
Yeah.
Oh, let's make this design is in your t-shirt, embroidery. Beautiful.
Yes.
I meant to wear my turtle stitch today, and I am devastated that I forgot it at home.
Next time, I think because here you have some cool designs also. So a few months ago, I think at like Susan said, at the conference, Crash Conference in Bordeaux, I met with Susan and we just got in touch. And when we came back to Tanzania, we decided to do a pilot course for Turtle Stitch and see how we could use the program in our classroom to teach girls. And so last month we put together a class of designers, students, and it was a mixed class really. And we taught them how to design patterns like this, because as you can see, it's geometrical shapes, and that's what most fabric here is made out of, with different colors. And so we didn't have the machines, and that's why I was in particular interested with the last slide about stitching on paper, because in the classroom we got a few threads and needles, and did code on the computer, printed it out on paper, and then the classroom participants could then stitch them using the needles and threads on paper. And so we did a challenge, design for Kanga challenge, where they were supposed to come up with designs like these using Turtle Stitch that could later on probably be printed on cloth. And we have some amazing results out of that. We have some of them are drawn by hand and by computer, but others, they have gone further to put them on the on Turtle Stitch platform and draw some geometrical shapes like flowers that were put in the system. Yeah.
May I ask you something, Simon?
Yes.
Because you don't work in a school, it's a after-school project, isn't it? So yes. Kind of, sometimes you go to the school, some kind of stuff like this. So how did you announce it? And because you have boys and girls, and when you say stitching, it's a project about coding, okay, but it's teaching. How do they receive this kind of stuff, and how did you make this work?
Actually, with great support from Susan, we managed to put up a curriculum for 1 month, a total of 8 classes. And so after we had sort of a plan about what we were going to teach in the classrooms, we just asked friends to recommend other friends, and also girls who had participated in our program before to recommend other girls to come and attend the program. And during the program, we did some live sessions where Susan and her classroom, just like this, got onto a video call and shared what they're learning, but also even the girls in our classroom and students shared what we are learning in our classroom. So that was really, really helpful. Yeah.
Okay,
Also,
it's amazing.
I just want to add in that we have a lot more we want to do, and so we want to invite you all in. It's not too late. And in January, we hope to extend the project. There's a book artist here. I'll type her name in the chat. We're hoping to engage. She works in Baltimore right now, Suzanne Coley, and we're working on the final pieces of our proposal to bring her to New York to be an artist in residence for a short amount of time with this project. And we have the coding, and we have the stitching, and we have the students. We'd like to bring her in to add a little more of the really purely creative artistic side to the whole project. And she has now started hand embroidering in her artist books. And she has shown her work around the world, and our students will be working with her to learn how to code for embroidery and incorporating some digital embroidery into the books with the multimedia and with her hand embroidery. And the other thing is, we were able to mail some thread and paper and needles to people. So if there's anybody you know who would like to join our project, we can send you thread and paper and needles. And also, I have the sewing machine here. And so we are hoping that people will start to send designs to us, and we will stitch them. We can consult by video about color and how they would like it stitched. We have about 100 cloth bags that we would like to embroider and mail back to people with their designs. Also, this Sunday at noon in New York, and I'll put this information up, we're having our first Turtle Stitch meetup. Michael is in from Europe. So James Deck, who is a teacher in New York City at a private school, has a connection to Columbia University Teachers College. They have a makerspace, and they have an embroidery machine. So we're going to meet there in person on Sunday, and hopefully set up another Google Hangout like this for anybody who would like to join us, and I'll announce all of that too. So we hope to entice you to help us find more partners around the world. The more partners around the world, the more cultural backgrounds we have to share. And the more people learn to code.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So I think we can open for questions, comments, suggestions. Who wants to ask something?
Also, my students have gone back to work in the background because yesterday the bell rang and everybody was very, very, very busy. And one day yesterday, through Turtle Stitch, we covered algorithms, abstractions, and variables. So everybody is furiously, as wonderful as to meet you all, they would rather be back coding, but we can call them back if you have any questions or would like to speak to any of them.
That's okay. Thank you, Susan. I think Veronica wants to talk something.
Yes, Susan. Well, I love your work, and I love Simon's shirt. And we have a group in Sinacantan, Chiapas. Chiapas is a state in the south of Mexico. And this group of, there are two girls. One of, she is, they make a lot of handcrafts. And I think they could be working with you because they know about computers, because they have a group, and they love to make new designs of their clothes. I think there's going to be wonderful if we put all together in this team. You're going to love her, to love them.
Oh, you already have a contact in Mexico, a big one, and Susan.
Yeah.
Veronica has been doing a wonderful work. She has a big group, so now you have your contact. Okay, Sandy, what do you think?
There you go.
This is the group Cheese. This is the kind of work she made.
Veronica, I'm sorry, but your connection is not very good. We can't see or hear you very well. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to share your screen, maybe it's better, but we can't see you. It's okay. Okay. Can you share your screen? If you, it would be great. Thank you. Okay.
I'm going to send the Facebook of that group. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica.
Eloisa?
Okay, go on, please.
Yeah. I'm really very excited by what I'm seeing. I love the idea. I'm trying to wrap my head around how I can do that. You know, I like the idea of the paper stitching, and that's what I think. And I'm thinking with my after school club, this would be a really good project. So I need to explore, I think I need to explore it a little bit more, the projects, but I need simple projects for like 5th graders and 4th graders and 3rd graders. Is this something that's accessible to that age group, you think?
Maybe I could share from my experience here. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, so it was really easy for us because we train out of school programs and we train to really young girls. It was really easy for me to implement such a training in a really short time because the whole curriculum is, they have this Turtle Stitch cards that step by step, level by level, and it's pretty easy for you to understand what to teach first, what to teach second. And like Susan said, she's so willing to email thread and needles over for you to get started. And so I think it's something, if you're looking for something easy to do for 3rd graders, this is the program to do because they will just, it's easy to do in a short time. Yeah.
Well, Also, we have very active partners. So we can partner one-on-one your students with our students to share projects and to share questions. Could you remind me where you're located?
I'm in Delaware, Milton, Delaware. Yes,
Great.
Southern Delaware. So Close to Baltimore.
I was well, that's interesting. Suzanne's based in Baltimore.
Yeah.
We would love to partner one-on-one with students. We've done that between high school and elementary before. All kinds of great connections there, and it is very easy. And if you just look at the Turtle Stitch website, and we also we will add that link to our presentation now, but we did create this series of basic tutorial cards of how to get started with Turtle Stitch, and also we have the whole BJC curriculum that we link to, which is actually a little more advanced, but we can definitely help you work through it. They'll have a lot of fun.
I'm really excited by this because I do this after school club, and I have been looking for something new to do with them, and especially my girls. I'm thinking this will appeal to them. I'm hoping. Anyway, you know.
About a year and a half ago, some of our boys took the school. We have our school animal is a husky, and they made a paw print, and they interpreted the paw print as a series of circles, and they coded the circles in Turtle Stitch using Snap. And then they printed them on small pieces of hard paper, and we embroidered bookmarks for people with the school colors.
Oh, I love that project. Awesome. I'm excited. That's great.
That's what I wanted to ask you, because they learn to code, they learn to make the embroidery. You thought about this artist that's coming. Maybe if you have some people who works with fashion, uses this embroidery, do you have something after this in mind, or just, you know, if they have another final goal, maybe using fashion, or I don't know, or something like that, or if students can use this to make your own clothes or personalize something, does it go on or not? How is it?
Well, Simon and I are putting pilot part 2 into effect in January, hopefully, and we're planning it in about 3 weeks. We're having a planning meeting for part 2 of the pilot. But right now in Europe, the Turtle Stitch is being used to train young textile designers. So we have specific places where it is being used to train textile designers. You know, just because you learn to read and write doesn't mean you're going to write a novel or be a poet, but we all learn to read and write. And we feel that whether you're going into medicine or fashion design or the arts, there's a place to learn programming and a use for it. So this will go everywhere. Right now in my room, we have the digital embroidery machine and we have a traditional sewing machine. We haven't yet started doing it, but I don't see any reason why people couldn't start making pockets to sew onto their pants. Or somebody suggested recently, a musician, I'd like to take one of the pieces of music that I'm composing in my music class, stitch it, and can I bring a shirt in and put it on my shirt? And we said, yes, absolutely.
Oh, because I think this is the step 2 in this process, because they get motivated. Not, oh no, I already know how to do it and that's it. No, how to explore this. I think it's full of possibilities to develop this. It's wonderful.
Well, the essence, I think, of what I believe and what Simon believes is exactly what Mitch Resnick has taught us all, which is you don't learn to code, you code to learn. You code to express yourself in a digital world. So we're not interested in, you know, online chapter 1, chapter 2, fill in the code, make it work. We're really interested in how we can take this and allow people to express themselves and to hold their code and to wear their code and to share it. I mean, that's why you learn to read and write, right?
In a very creative process.
Yeah.
Exploring, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
And we're open to more partners in New Jersey too. And Sweden. What do you all think we can do to help people get involved in this, to make it easier for them to try it, to want to get involved with this idea of sharing? And I think even if we don't share an actual, you know, we can vary from saying we want to work from the inspiration of textiles because this reflects our culture and it's a good basis for sharing different cultures. But within that, there are, of course, all sorts of things that we can share. But what can you think of that we can do to involve more people from different places to create this dialogue through coding?
Veronica, do you want to answer? Do you want to talk, to say something about this?
Okay. Okay. I think, Susan, in my country, there are a lot of natives who made their own designs. And once a French woman came and made something with those designs, and she has, she said she is the owner of that designs because she puts something leather or something like that. And I think the best thing is how we can have our own traditions safe for these people who want to use our creativity on their own things. And I think what are you doing with the codes and everything? It's not only to know how to do it. If only it's so to do how to preserve your traditions and how to preserve the things you know and how to preserve your own work. I think it's both things together.
When Simon and I started talking about different cultural textiles, what came to my mind in terms of American textiles are quilts. And quilts are not something that are well understood in Africa because it's really not cold enough to have a quilt, which is really interesting to me. And yet I still think it could be fun if we get enough people from around the world to do this, to make squares from each of us, physical squares, and stitch them together into one quilt.
Yeah.
What other kinds of cultural traditions do you all see connecting to this?
I think also, Susan, one of the nice things that I also learned through this was, remember when you talked about the quilt, and we, on this side of the world, we had never heard of the quilt. And then we spoke about the kangas, and students from your class had never seen this kind of textile before. And so this program was a nice way to teach coding, but also sharing cross-cultural differences and norms from different places of the world. So I think that's one of the beauty of, especially phase 2 that we're going to do, try to bring in different people from different countries to participate in the program, the different cultures and how coding can apply in any of the different cultures to bring the textiles to.
Could you explain Could you explain that to everyone on the call, Simon? I'm not sure they understand, and it was a lot of fun having Simon translate the Swahili and for us to see messages in textiles.
So a kanga is a fabric just like this one, but they're all similar in a way that they have different patterns. The shape is rectangular, and all of them have a particular message written on it. I don't know, I'm on my mobile phone, but I can share pictures later of what a kanga looks like. Maybe, Susan, you can pull up one of the kangas. But so, that sort of speaks about something in the community. So we had a competition here, and some of the kangas had, for example, if it was a drug message, it will be something along the lines of what is not good for your body. And so it's written on a kanga, such that if you're wearing it, somebody else can read the message and understand what it's saying.
Okay. Anders, Alan, would you like to say something?
That's the project is really pretty amazing. It's very, very impressive to see. I'm familiar with Snap, and I didn't realize. I know that they have something called Beetle Blocks, which I think Turtle Stitch comes out of. But it's really very, very impressive. I think the work that you guys are doing is is really phenomenal.
I wish I could find the pictures right now, but of course, because I'm trying to find them fast, but we'll put them in the presentation. And Turtle Stitch and Beetle Blocks are cousins. Some of the same developers are overlapping. But the question is, can you help us find more partners, all of you? Can you reach out? Because you can see we had some interest from different countries in Europe. We haven't really brought them in yet. Simon and I are hoping that as this comes together a little more, they'll see it. It's interesting, in Kenya, we have computer scientists students interested in the program. So they're not really learning to code, but they're more advanced coders, but we're hoping they'll help us understand some of the more advanced aspects of the code, because Richard Millwood, who's been very active, he's in the University of Trinity in Ireland, and he's been doing some amazing work in coding for Turtle Stitch. So please look back at the presentation later today, and we'll have more. We'll put all of these additional links that we've talked about back in, and it will stay live. I'm going to mute my microphone because the bell's going to ring soon, and my students are going to leave, and then my room will be empty. So then we can have more conversation if people are around. But I'm just going to mute now so that you don't all hear 500 people switching rooms.
Okay, Anders, would you like to, we are about to finish. Let's make the final considerations here. Anders, would you like to say something?
Yes, maybe. I don't really know what I'm going to say, but I went to the Scratch conference in Amsterdam, and there was a masterclass workshop with Andrea, who made the Turtle Stitch, and I went to that masterclass, and I'm not an fabrics man, not embroidery man, but I found it so very, very interesting. So your work is amazing, and the culture, I'm speechless. I think I could try to get someone in Sweden, but I don't really know. I have no name with me today, but maybe I could put it on Facebook if someone is interesting. I think there are someone have tried the Turtle Stitch. I've seen that in Sweden, but it would be great, very great. And I love the work.
That would be helpful.
Yeah, I love the work that you are doing.
You know, Simon, then you can transmit to Susan. Just before you come in to join us, Veronica was saying that her group, Edu Creatives from Mexico, was invited to make a presentation in Colombia. And they, yes, they have contacts in all Latin America, and it was discussing just this because all of them speak Spanish, you know. We Brazil speak Portuguese, but all of them speak Spanish, so they are easy to communication, to travel. And for instance, in Europe, if you go this distance, you change the language, everything. But in here in South America, if you go to another country, it's the same language. Of course, the culture is different, but the language, it's the same. So she knows a lot of people. So we can, and for sure, Veronica is very active and very interested, and with a lot of energy, good energy. Now you have a good person to do that. Yes.
Do you have some kind of project place, website, or blog or something?
So actually, currently we are doing the website, and it's almost done. We'll share it with update the presentation and put the link there, and it's going to have a lot of information for phase 2 and for how people rate. So currently, I think we'll share the link anyways as we're still developing it, because still the homepage is done, and there's a link where you can click to sort of talk to Susan and then be part of the program.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, I think we are about finished.
Should we wait for Susan?
Is she coming back?
Yeah, she was coming back in 3 or 5 minutes or.
Okay, okay. And I think it was wonderful. Oh, she's back.
Yep.
Susan.
And now this next period, I don't have a class, so I'm just here, and it's quiet.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Wait, let me turn the other light on, actually.
No, that's okay.
How our classes are.
I wanted them to be able to see you a little bit, and when it's so light, they can't see the screen. We projected you all large on the screen.
Oh, thank you. Susan, what was saying that Veronica has this group, Educativos, and she was just telling us that they were in
Panama.
Colombia?
I heard
Panama. Sorry, Panama.
Colombia.
Panama.
I heard
Yes.
And you know,
no, she has contacts in a lot of. They have contacts in a lot of. And everybody speaks Spanish there.
This is great.
So it's easier for them to talk and to translate or something you have. They have an amazing group. So I think you can go for it. Just contact Veronica.
Thank you, Veronica.
Okay, Veronica.
Yes. In Mexico, we are like all cousins of all the countries around. And in Mexico, we made a seminar, and the Minister of Education brought from every country 1 or 2 leaders, and we made a course for them. And then we have a team from different places from Latin America. That's all of them are teachers from computer teachers from everywhere. And I can share this presentation if Anders going to put it and the link. I could send everybody this presentation. And I know most of them from Peru, from Colombia, from Chile, from Argentina, from different places. They can be very interested in this work. I think so, because we are all cousins from this part of the world.
And I must say, the fun thing for me being in New York City is that I have students from all over the world, and they speak all different languages. So we recently, through Andrea in Europe, who is the founder of Turtle Stitch, we found that there's a boys' school in Germany who has purchased a sewing machine, and they're stitching. And I have a student in my other class who speaks German, whose family is actually in Switzerland right now. And this coming Monday, I have 2 boys in that class who have been doing a lot of embroidery. They're going to be meeting with the boys at the German school this coming Monday. So we have, so language really shouldn't be a barrier. Time sometimes is a little bit challenging. Between New York and China is difficult sometimes, but you know, especially Peru has a very interesting culture of applique in their textiles.
Yes.
Before I ever had a legitimate job as a teacher, I actually, at one point in my life, I did embroidery for money. I think I must have made about 25 cents an hour. So that's really my life has come such a complete circle thanks to programming and thanks to Mitch Resnick and Scratch. So I'm back with my love of embroidery. But you know, it's so interesting, and I'm sure it's true in all the countries. When I was in school, whether it was right or wrong that girls had home economics and boys had shop, still children learned to make things. It was considered part of school. And somehow it got lost, and we need to bring it back.
Yes. And that's why we are a team with friends and the makers, and they have this kind of machines to make their own clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are returning to the back.
Yeah.
Is there a country or a culture that you all wonder about that we could together look for somebody from that culture to join us? For me, I know I've admired and enjoyed African textiles for many years, and I've been exposed to it because of my life in New York. So it's been really a great gift that Joek from Amsterdam connected us in Bordeaux last summer. That was really the most amazing gift, that I was able to meet in person and connect with the people from Africa. But how about all of you? What culture or what country, who would you be interested in meeting? Right now, I'm on a search to find people in Cuba, and it's not turning out to be that easy. But I'm looking for people who are teaching computer science in Cuba, hoping to connect with them. But what interests you?
I have a lot of people, friends in Cuba, if you want. I can try. I have a lot of friends there. I can try.
We will be in touch.
Okay.
But what country do you wonder about? Who would you like to meet?
Whatever. We love all.
You know that. The Maasai from North Tanzania. So I'll be next weekend. I'm actually going to that region to train a group of students about Scratch, and they have an interesting pattern. They call them shukas, and they are really good. Most of them, they use red, blue, and black colors to make these really amazing clothes. So I'm excited to bring that also to the program. That would be really nice. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe if you could share with us these pictures in the group.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elisa, how could we involve Brazil?
Oh, we can talk about it.
But Brazil is a country where there really is exciting technology. When I studied in New York, my most interesting, innovative colleagues were from Brazil in so many different ways, from up north, from the south, from all over Brazil. And yet we don't have anybody Brazilian in this project yet.
Okay, let's think about it. So we'll be in touch. I would like to thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you for sharing your workspace. Thanks for sharing your experience. So Simon will have things to share with Sandy for the small ones.
Yeah.
And Veronica and Susan have a lot of things to share. Many countries. You have many countries in South America to begin, Susan, while I'm looking for some Brazilian here. Okay? So thank you very much. And hope to see you next week. It's supposed to, Beatrice from Italy, now living in Sweden, to present her work next week. Unfortunately, she didn't come up today, but we'll be in touch when we see. I'm very happy to be with this group that's going each time more related to each other and growing and sharing. That's my pleasure. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.